Now, the technical traveler is a person who basically needs to be literally on battery for a while. And I've realized that you got to have the right phone, you got to have the right essentials, and you got to have the right kind of thought process behind what you plan on doing when you're going to be on battery for a long time. Now, being on battery doesn't necessarily mean your phone needs to be on battery the whole time, but you must have some of the tools that will allow you to stay on battery. And that's one of my little things. I think about how much battery am I going to need, and I think about what am I going to be doing that would require the battery power. So we start with the phone. I'm using your basically up-to-date Galaxy GS5. It's got power save modes. It's got an extensive power save mode for super low battery consumption. But to tell you the truth, I'm doing a lot of things like remote desktop. I'm doing a lot of things like consumption on transfer through internet usage and video playing. Those power save modes really aren't going to cut it. So what you really need to do is make sure you have a few things with you so that you can remain on battery power without having to worry about running for an outlet. And I know I see this all the time in the airport. People are running for outlets because they think they need to beat up the battery in their phone, which I think is actually causing some of the problem. So in my little care pouch, $10 little workforce bag from Home Depot, I keep a couple things because I'm a technician and I need to make sure that I can always support. And sometimes I don't have my laptop with me, but I still have to do almost full desktop support. And I use Citrix Go-To Assist to log into other people's computers, and I also use a couple other tools like Log Me In. And so I have a couple things I want to make sure I have with me so I can do data transfer and keep my battery life assured. You want to get yourself a couple of things. I'm going to take all these items out, and then I'll explain which each one of them are. You want to make sure your hands-free device is readily available. Hands-free device is your headset. I've got a Plantronics Legend, and the Legend allows me to voice answer and voice dial. I also have a charging pouch for a backup headset, so I always have two with me. I got 6 hours of talk time on each of the headsets, and then the pouch will charge 2 charges, so that will definitely give me 24 hours of talk time. And in extreme case, I've talked maybe 12 hours in a day and realistically needed to use 2 headsets in a day. And if I had to stay somewhere overnight, I need my headset working for me when I head back to my main junction point completely on battery. Now, the next thing I carry with me, which you're going to almost think, why would you need that? I have, along with my phone, I have a router. I keep an AT&T portable router in my bag, and this is so that whenever I need to transfer media, I can still connect my media transfer point to the internet while my phone is uploading media to a device. So I will explain that to you very shortly. So that's the router, the battery, headset. Now we also have the opportunity here. It doesn't matter what kind of battery pack you get. I like to have one with 2 USBs on there, and at least this one is, if I'm looking at it correctly, we have 6,000 milliamps. 6,000 milliamps will allow you to get at least 2 charges out of your phone with it, and I usually use it to charge a headset externally if my pack is either dying or not, or I would use it to just charge one phone and a second phone. I have a second phone. That's not required, but I'm just letting you know that we probably want to have some of those readily options available. Now, I also, like I said, I provide support. So because I use an Android phone, I have the wonderful opportunity that even though I don't have my tablet with me, I can use this as a tablet by carrying with me also a Bluetooth mouse. Now the Bluetooth mouse allows me to use an actual pointer in a screen remote session that I would actually be able to now connect and use effectively, pointing in a very small resolution screen. So Now let's put it all together. Say somebody calls you up. They say, listen, I need those files that you have. And this is basically your, I have a solid state routing device. So basically this will allow my phone to connect to this as a Wi-Fi hotspot. And then what I use is the router going back out to the internet here. So now I have the ability to take a file off of an SD card. I have my SD card here. SD card here, you pop it in here. I can get a file off of my camera, off of my other external device. I have a scanner, I have a camera, I have a bunch of different devices that take SD, micro SD. I keep my adapter always inside the router here. And this is a, like I said, hotspot router, but it's not necessarily an internet router. It's just a hotspot router that allows you to take the 128 gig off of here, and also any SD memory you have plugged into it. You can access both storages on here without having to fill up your phone. And then I can now effectively transfer it through the internet through here and still have this connected. So you want to have some of these essentials with you when you travel, so that this is stage one of what you would need to be a power user or even level 1 tech, support tech, while anywhere in the world. And I would say you could effectively survive for about 48 hours on just this light tech right here. So and then I have a couple of charging cables in here, so that if you ever get to a point, I don't keep the actual AC adapters for any of this in this pouch, because the necessity of this pouch is to be completely self-sufficient during the time I want to be. I don't want to rely on plugging in. Now I have a stage two bag that will allow you to be a lot more productive. But this stage one is what I take in, say, a rental car, or I'm going to go in somebody else's car. I don't want to rely on plugging in, and I don't want to even ask the question about plugging in. So stay tuned. I will actually post a video for stage 2 mobile productivity, all battery, in a moment.